I just like to start off by saying congratulations to all four of us on advancing to the College Cup. BYU, obviously, a big win on Friday. Very exciting match against Carolina. Stanford getting back. Congratulations to Paul and the continued success that he has. And then obviously Eddie and Clemson. We had a really long talk after our ACC final, and I told him thoroughly how impressed we were with his team and what a handful they are. And it's really no surprise that they've made it this far. And he's got a group of special players, and congratulations to him and his group. And looking forward to seeing everybody this weekend.
All right. Thanks, Coach. Jack, we'll start things off with you.
Hey, Coach. Just wanted to ask about, similar to Pitt, a team that you saw three times before, the three times coming into the game. Clemson's going to be one of these teams in this situation. Obviously, it's a heightened stage, one of the biggest in soccer right now. Similarities, when you face Pitt to Clemson now, what goes into, seeing a team this many times and, wanting to be victorious against them?
Yeah, obviously they're a really good team. We have been fortunate enough to beat them twice, and so it's hard to do it a third time. But if there's value in playing a team repeatedly, and this is a two-way street, right? It's for us and it's for Clemson, familiarity, right? And obviously we've got to prepare and always look to tweak little things here or there, and they'll do the same. But certainly it's two teams that are quite familiar with each other. And so there won't be many surprises. I don't know if I'd call it a crazy rivalry, but it's pretty heated. It's pretty competitive. Our game at the ACC final on this very field was was a very competitive match, and both teams dying to win, and it'll be no different on Friday night. So value in a little bit of familiarity. But certainly difficult to beat a team three times in one season.
All right, Chris, go ahead.
Hey, Brian, it's Chris. Two questions real quick. One, why is Clemson so good? Like, what is it that they do so well? And secondly, how impressed have you been by your girls and how they've handled the whole tournament run and just their approach to the daily needs of getting through a tournament?
Yeah, bunch of things with Clemson. First of all, experience, right? Very veteran group, with some freshmen sprinkled in there, but senior goalkeeper, seniors, a couple seniors in the back line, pretty much all seniors, plus maybe a junior in midfield, and then Bornkamp and a couple olders up top as well, and then front to back, just talented. They defend well. Makowitz, I don't know what she's up to these days from a shutout standpoint. It's probably 13, 14, 15, something like that. Bornkamp, she was a handful in that final, holding the ball up well, good in the air, can score goals. Hal locking things down in defensive center midfield. She's just a tremendous engine, very good in the air, right? And then Harper White, she's a Tennessee kid. We tried to recruit her when I was at Tennessee. She's just grown so much over the years, and she has. And I told actually an MWSL scout this the other day that she's a woman now, and she's leading that back line, and she's so comfortable on the ball, and they're just a real complete team. And then obviously that coaching staff has been together for 10 plus years, and so a lot of continuity there. So they're really complete. And then for our team, we felt like we had a tough bracket, and to go through that whole bracket to get to win our region, and to go unscored upon and score whatever we did, 13, 14 goals, something like that, and have the poise to get through some tough games, right? Tied 0-0 at halftime against A&M, tied 0-0 the other night against Pitt. And to fight through stingy defenses. Our kids have had poise all season in tough moments. They had poise at halftime against Clemson in the ACC final when it was 1-1. Clemson was the better team for the final 15 to 20 minutes of that first half at the ACC final. But our team came out with their foot on the gas in the second half and was able to get the game winner. So I think you've just continued in the same way I talk about Clemson's leadership and experience. I think we have pretty good leadership and experience as well.
All right, Melvin.
Thank you. Coach, congrats on getting this to the College Cup again. I want to ask you about your back line. It's been a long while, I think 13 games or so since you've given up a goal in the run of play, and you've only given up like one goal in the last 9. How has that come together? Can you talk a little bit about that and what has been happening these last few days that have been allowed you to have such a lockdown defense?
Yeah, it's funny. We have 3 of the 4 from last year's back line, right? And if you include Leilani, right, and you include Roque, right, and that's a back 6, really 5 of the 6 from last year. I think early on in the season, we leaked some kind of odd goals, some fluky goals, right? Unfortunately, 2 good goals to Clemson in the first ACC game. But we weren't very tough. We weren't very disciplined in those Clemson goals. And they were good goals on their part at the same time. And so I think we've just kind of taken a little bit more pride. This sounds so simple and silly. Taking a little bit more pride in being tough back there, not giving away goals, not giving away soft goals, marking better, being physically more tough, protecting Roque better. The 2 goals we gave up at Syracuse were kind of fluky. We gave up 3 at Carolina, which was, disappointing. And that was a back and forth game. That game was 3-3. Maybe it could have been 5-5. And it's really since that Carolina game, 13 games, like you said, we've given up just 1 in the run of play. And I think it's a total team effort, right? Our defending starts from the front. So the defending is not always, just a back 4, back 5 situation. It's everybody. It's how high can we get pressure on the ball up front? And that's going to be another thing for us against Clemson, because they're very much a soccer playing team and a possession oriented team. And can we press them higher up the field and not allow them to get into a little bit of a rhythm and things like that? And then I think so much of the talk of our team is, our front 5 and our front 6 and all the dangerous players that we have. And I don't know this for a fact. And Melvin, maybe you've heard me say this before, but probably and potentially somewhere along the line, our backs may feel a little bit slighted. None of them are all league players, right? When you talk about our back 4, right? Mimi was an all freshman team, but Gilchrist didn't get any love. Flynn didn't get any love. EY didn't get any love, right? Sophia didn't get any love. And so maybe they got a little something going on where they want to prove that they're good defenders individually and collectively, and we're not going to let anybody score on us. And so whatever the case may be, I don't think it's been like wholesale changes and we've changed up tactics or anything like that. I think we've just, for lack of better words, just kind of buttoned down the hatches a bit.
All right, we'll go Allison next.
Hey, Coach. I just wanted to ask you, 10 of the last 13 College Cups have included Florida State. I mean, this is honestly I feel like it's the home away from home for you guys. What does it say about just the legacy of this program? And in your second season, you get a chance to go back, just the dominance of this program and just how much it means to you to continue that legacy.
Yeah, I mean, obviously, again, Patrick Baker took this program to the College Cup in the early 2000s, and then Mark Krikorian took over, and he went to a lot of Elite Eights and a lot of College Cups, and so stepping into his shoes, obviously, has been a tall task. And as I tell him every week, every other week, I'm just doing my best, man, to keep doing what you've done. And he and I had a text exchange on Friday going into our game. And I told him he was wishing us luck. And I said, look, I was thinking about you on Thursday as the team was at our house for Thanksgiving. And I said, that's just a Mark Krikorian Thanksgiving tradition that I hope to continue to carry on. right? And so whether it's that Thanksgiving tradition where Fridays in late November mean home Elite Eight games for Florida State soccer, I've watched that game for years and years and years, right? And now to have been a part of it 2 years in a row and to be going back to the College Cup, I'm just thankful, right? Because I've wanted to keep this program going and going in, at the level that Mark did, and it's not easy. And we are the only team returning to the College Cup from last year. Last year we were in the College Cup. We were the only team that was in the 2022 College Cup that returned from 2021, right? And I can go back more years where it's similar to that. And even the Elite Eight, right? This Elite Eight last week, it was just us in Carolina that returned from last year. So it's hard. It is expected at Florida State. Anything less of it is a bad season in the eyes of many. But it's hard. It's hard to do. And the media asked me a couple weeks ago, maybe it was a month ago now, when we, went from being ranked 2 or 3 or 4 to number 1. And they asked, do you now all of a sudden feel pressure being number 1 team in the country? And I said, no, because to play at Florida State and to coach at Florida State, you feel that pressure all the time because if you're a player, and our older players last year was Jenna Neiswanger, and it was Clara Robbins, and it was Heather Payne, and now they're gone. And now it's Beata, and it's Leilani, and it's Roque, and Lauren Flynn, and Joe Ekagini. It's now their team. And so this is their time to take a team to the College Cup and compete for a national championship. And they want to do that, but that's not easy. And so sometimes you feel pressure when you're trying to do it. And so I'm so happy for our team that they've done a lot this fall, and now they're going to try like heck to finish the job.
All right, we'll go to Jack, and then Greg, you can have the last one.
I know you guys are focused right now on Clemson, but talking about the other side of the bracket, what do BYU and Stanford bring to the table?
Yeah, it's funny. I was talking with someone the other day. I haven't seen a whole lot of Stanford, right? I don't have the Pac-12 network, but obviously I've got games on Y Scout, and they've only given up 10 goals. So I know they're very stingy. And then you've got BYU. I did watch a bunch of their game the other night against Carolina after ours. High flying attack, 74 goals, maybe something like that scored. So it's going to be a really interesting game, right? Obviously Stanford can score as well, but you have a high powered offense against a very stingy, organized, talented team. A team that I think I saw some stat they haven't lost because I think they were limited on penalties, maybe by BYU a year ago. Stanford hasn't lost in some 40-odd games, something like that. So 2 really good teams, right? A 1 seed and a 2 seed. So we've got 3 1s and a 2 seed in this College Cup. So some pretty good teams.
All right, Greg, go ahead.
Hey, Coach. Just a quick word about the other half of the bracket again. You played Jen's teams back in 2014 and 2016. Just a thought about maybe Jen, the program she's built, maybe any relationship you have, thoughts of those games and having them on the other side of the bracket.
Yes, couldn't be more thankful that this game, if we are to advance and she is to advance, that this game will be in Cary, North Carolina, and not Provo, Utah. We played in, I don't remember the exact sequence, but at our place in Tennessee, they beat us 1-0. And then out west, they smashed us in the face 5-2. So she's done an amazing job. And certainly I was a fan 2 years ago watching, Mark's team beat her team on penalties, and what a special group she had then. And she and I caught up for a while this past summer, maybe, or spring at a recruiting event. And, she was congratulating me on the job I had done in my first year. And I was telling her, how impressed I've been for a long time in the job that she has done over the years. And and she's continued that right this year, new league for them. Right. So new challenge, right? They went through the tournament, the conference tournament in the Big 12 right? Everybody expected them to run through the league in the Big 12, and then some other teams had good seasons. Texas Tech had a great regular season, and Texas went on the run in the tournament, and so all of a sudden now BYU punched in the face a little bit, right? So how are they going to respond after that Texas loss, right? And that's disheartening to lose a conference championship, but they bounced back obviously, and then they showed their absolute. Their soccer talent, but then their mental fortitude, being down 3-0, 20 minutes into a game and tying the best comeback in NCAA tournament history. And that says a lot about their coach, says a lot about their talent. Obviously, they've got an extremely veteran group. And so whoever is playing them, and certainly, obviously, that's Stanford to start with. It's a tall challenge. And like I said, Stanford's a really good team defensively. So that for a spectator, that's going to be a great game.
Coach, thank you.
Coach Pensky, thank you for your time. Want to wish you good luck on Friday, and we'll all be watching.
All right. Thank you. Appreciate it.
Thanks.
All righty. Well, first off, congrats to Stanford and Florida State and BYU for making the College Cup. It's wonderful to be in great company. Glad to be one of the final 4 teams left in the country playing, here at the College Cup. And as I've been saying all season long to the group is, you want a chance to win a championship, you have to be in the dance floor. So we're in the dance floor, and now you give yourself an opportunity to compete for a national championship. And it's been a fun season. Our team, starting last spring, just kind of made a conscious decision that we were going to throw ourselves and commit ourselves to being the best team that we could be, and full credit to that group. They've done that with their work ethic and commitment, and have been extremely consistent all season. So it's been a fun team to watch. It's been a fun team to be a part of, and we're excited for the opportunity this week.
All right. Thanks, Coach Melvin. We'll start things off with you.
All right, thank you. Coach, congratulations on making it to the College Cup. I'm a former professor at Clemson, so I've seen a lot of your games, so I know what you've gone through to get there. So congratulations.
Thank you.
I want to just ask you, what is it about Florida State that most concerns you when you watch them on tape? And how much do you think it'll help you guys that you've seen them twice already?
Well, I mean, obviously we have a challenging opponent in Florida State. We're all both familiar with each other. We have great respect for them and what they've done. You always know it's a formidable opponent. Honestly, it's just a matter of what between the ears, what kind of dialogue you're having with yourself. Like, oh, we're familiar with each other or with this. I mean, it's just a narrative, whatever narrative you want to play out. I don't think that either Brian's team or my team are going to surprise each other with an awful lot. We do know that we've had very good games with them. It's been exciting to watch. It's been competitive. And now we get another opportunity to play them in the national semifinals. So, we're going to kind of probably do what we've been doing, trying to be consistent, stay true to our routines, and try to end up one more goal than Florida State this time.
Thanks, Coach. Just a reminder for media to use that raise hand function, and then I will get to the next question. All right, John, go for it.
Hey, Coach. I was just looking at your roster, and obviously you have players from all over the country, but you have 2 from South Carolina, Sammy Meredith and Caroline Conti. Can you just say what they kind of mean to your team? And I think they've both had kind of pretty big moments in the last couple of games with I think Sammy had a PK and Caroline with the game-winning goal.
No, it's great to have, the in-staters representing. And, Caroline is a 5th year. She's one of our captains and leaders. We've been blessed this year. We've had our team it's been player-driven leadership this year, which it's hard to work towards to get, but so rewarding once you've done it. And I don't know, Caroline is like the most blue-collar player that we have, probably one of the best in college soccer, because she does a ton of the dirty work, the mileage she puts in, the work ethic she commits to. God, I couldn't have been happier for anybody to get the game-winning goal in the last game in the Elite Eight than Caroline, to do that, in her final game at historic Riggs at Clemson University here in South Carolina. And in the previous game, it was awesome for Sammy, who's from the Charleston area, to step up and have the opportunity on the final penalty kick shootout to take us to the next round. And the other neat thing about it is all these young little girls that are in the stands watching it, they're great role models for them and hopefully they can turn their dreams into a reality, because that was them many years ago. And I was really happy for them that they got put in those moments, but they both have something in common. Like, they love the team. They love and serve the team. They want the team to win, and they'll do whatever it takes to get there.
All right, John, go for it.
I guess just to follow up on that, I mean, what are some of the examples of how they lead? Is it vocally? Is it, in terms of just their work ethic and how they go about things day to day? Like, how would you say they've been good leaders for your squad?
Well, in particular with Caroline, it's, Caroline leads by example. And actually, the last game was a great moment. We scored late to take the lead, and then unfortunately conceded a goal a number of minutes later. And guess what? Who gets the group together to huddle up to have a little conversation? It's Carol and Hal, our captains. And lo and behold, look who gets the game winner. Caroline, because the game's not over. You compete to the end, you play every minute, you never say die. To me, that was a great example of not giving up. And the game is 90 minutes long. And, we've had a few of those moments this year. And, both these players bring that type of experience of not willing to give up and willing to do whatever it takes to get there. And, that becomes very contagious throughout the group.
Melvin?
Oh, thank you. Coach, your team is known as kind of a defense-first team. I don't know if you would agree with that characterization or not, but could you talk a little bit about your goaltender, Hallie Makowitz, and how important she's been to your success this year? And how much do you think it helped her that she got to be around Hensley Handcuff early in her career and learn from another great goalkeeper?
Well, hold on a second. I'm looking at something. I just had it up. What happened to it? Oh, there it is. So, we've scored 56 goals this year and only conceded 17. So, you are correct that one of our strengths this year has been on the defensive side. And we've been blessed because we have an outstanding goalkeeper. I've said all along, I just think this year she's been the best goalkeeper in college soccer. I think her statistics prove it. The shutouts prove it. The result of her team has proved it. It's kind of like you're in the NHL and you're in the playoffs. You need a hot goalkeeper. Well, we've had a hot goalkeeper the entire season. We talk about, consistency has probably been our biggest theme word. And Hallie's kind of been one of those leaders in regards to being consistent. And it's nice to know, it gives you a lot of confidence when something goes, maybe not go well and it gets behind us, that you have Hallie back there. And I think Hallie would say that, training on our goalkeeper union environment has been great for her in so many ways, not just with just technique of goalkeeping, leadership and growth and development as a young person. When Hensley was here, those were two, look, you're looking at two former youth national team goalkeepers training with each other. I mean, they took that environment to a whole nother level. And our current environment with Allie Lynch and Addie Olgerson, the goalkeeper union, we say this and it was sincere, officially Allie got all those shutouts, but she would be the first one to tell you she wouldn't have gotten them without Allie and Addie. And the reason being is how they train, how they push each other, how they bond with each other. I mean, when it's not just a single goalkeeper celebrating the moment, it's all of them do it. And Siri's done a great job of creating that union and that chemistry that they truly love each other and push each other. And, the type of season that Hallie has had, it couldn't happen to a better kid. What an incredible student, very gifted, smart, majoring in some engineering field that I don't even know about. And, she has a really incredible, bright future ahead for her.
All right, we have time for one more if someone wants to take it. John, it's yours.
I just wanted to ask you also, obviously the men's team is still in the NCAA tournament as well. So what does it mean for both of you guys, both your programs, to have Clemson kind of in the national spotlight in soccer, both men's and women's?
Honestly, it's fantastic. I mean, I always like to say, I don't think we would be here without Mike's group, because, to me, they showed a pathway, to winning the national championship and being at the College Cup. And, when our men won it in 2021, first thing I said to our group was, because they all love each other. They hang out, they do things together, they play pickup together. We have a great chemistry and relationship with the team and the staff. And when you can see your friends doing something like that, like, wow, they just won the national championship. I think it makes it a little bit more realistic. Like, wait a minute, they did it. Maybe we can do this, because belief is one of the most powerful tools that you can bring with you as an athlete. And that power of belief is something that, we're trying to grab onto. But it just makes great exciting. That's one of the things that kind of makes a place like Clemson very special and unique. We talk a lot about Clemson family, and the fact that we get to celebrate with each other's successes, supporting one another. I mean, they're at our games, we're at their games, and we're playing the same sport. And look, and we share the same facility. It to me, it's made the journey that much more enjoyable. Mike was my instructor back in my licenses day. This is back in the 90s. So I always felt like Mike has always been a good mentor, and to have two outstanding coaching staffs in the same building, I mean, you can't help but get better. But it's just been fun. I've enjoyed the heck out of it.
All right, Coach, thank you for your time today. Safe travels to Cary, and good luck on Friday.
Thanks very much. Have a good day.
Thanks.